Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Chelsea. I had a bunch of new followers yesterday on Instagram. So, I'm Chelsea. I am 29 years old. I live in Texas. I just moved back from Canada. My husband played football there. We have been on this infertility journey for 3 years. We have had 3 ectopic pregnancies. I have had 3 abdominal surgeries in the last 2 years. And just recently, I had both of my fallopian tubes removed. So, that is why we are on this IVF journey. It has been a ride, let me tell you. But today I'm just going to talk a little bit about egg retrieval, stimulation, my results from the egg retrieval, and just touch briefly because a lot of people have been messaging me and going, when do you find out you're pregnant? Well, that's not how it works. But I don't blame people because IVF is super weird. I mean, the first IVF baby I think is like 40 something, and it's just not really talked about, and honestly it's confusing even going through it. So I wanted to talk a little bit. So if you are about to go through this IVF journey, I don't have an affiliate link, but I got the My Vitro organizer along with the shot station. I highly recommend it. You're already going to spend all kinds of money. Spend the $100, get organized before stimulation. It will make you far less anxious, I'm telling you. But the greatest thing that happened is these ice packs come with it, and I iced myself for 15 to 20 minutes before I did my injections, and I'm telling you, it made a world of difference. So that's just my PSA. The My Vitro thing was a lifesaver for me because I am not an organized person, and this made me organized, and it was worth every freaking penny. So thank you, My Vitro. I wish I could get an affiliate link for this, but I don't have that many followers, so it's fine. Anyway, I went into egg retrieval. I'm pretty sensitive. I haven't had gluten for, I don't eat gluten, and I haven't for 6 years. Chicken makes my throat scratchy, avocado does. I'm just not a very fun person to go out to eat with because for the last 3 years I've been really watching everything I'm eating because I have just wanted a baby. So I'm like, you know what? I have not done well with meds. I don't know how I'm going to do with IVF and stimulation. So I kind of anticipated the worst. Like, it's going to make me a rage monster. My IVF doctor told me that your estrogen levels are 10 times what they normally are. So I think Craig and I for about a year were rationalizing, you know what, this like almost 2-week period is just going to be a little crazy, and that's the way it's going to be. And honestly, I was pleasantly surprised. My body had been through so much physically that I was like, you know what, I'm just going to be in pain the whole time, and that was not the case. I had one emotional day when my doctor did an ultrasound and he seemed pretty disappointed, and he's a very confident guy, so his disappointment, mine just went there and mimicked it, and I just wasn't able to rationally think that day because my hormones and my feelings and emotions just took over. But other than that, I feel like, I even asked my husband, I said point blank, how do you think I did? And he was surprised as well. The shots aren't fun, but I'm telling you, numbing the spot as well as going in at an angle, the gonal needle is very dull. So I would really jab that thing in there. If you go through my videos on my Instagram, I had a couple issues with the gonal needles, just them being dull. So, but I would say go at an angle. It really is that first kind of injection. What I'll do is I'll actually put my first video here and you can see how I did. And then, it's just like wrapping your head around actually giving yourself injections. Menopur burns. It's just gonna burn. And then cetrotide is how you say it. The antagonist medication that you take in the mornings to suppress your ovaries from ovulating. That one has a lot of bubbles in it. So you just, like, as much as you can do, it's just gonna have bubbles. So I think those are my recommendations for stimulation. Everybody's going to stimulate differently. a saying in the IVF community that a lot of people were telling me is quality over quantity. You know, a lot of women have gotten like 30 plus eggs and only 2 fertilized, and then they came back, you know, with their PGS testing as abnormal. So you never know, and it's so hard to not compare yourself to others. But I'm telling you, everybody is different. Every journey is different. Every doctor prescribes different medications. They all have their own quirks. They charge differently. So, you know, I think it's good to get people that have gone through it in your corner, of just like backing you, and somebody that you can talk with about it, that understands you, but realize that everybody's, you know, journey is different. And you know, at the end of the day, you don't really know until the very end how everything's going to play out. You can do all the good things that you can do, but you know, I mean, that's the hardest part about this whole journey, is like, we don't decide the outcome. God decides the outcome. And I think for me, I just love that control, and that's the toughest part of this infertility journey, is I don't control if I have a baby or not. I can do all these things, but I don't ultimately control that. Even with IVF, just because you get good embryos doesn't necessarily mean those embryos are going to stick. And you know, you have to go in that rationally, knowing I may be paying all this money, and you know, the outcome could not go in my favor. And I know that's pessimistic, and that's not, you know, speaking positive into it, but at the end of the day, I'm sorry, that's just reality. I think it's good to have a positive outcome, because it lifts your mood, and it's better for your body to just be in a normal state and not constantly suppressed and anxious and all of those things. I think that is an important part, but the reality is not everybody comes out of IVF pregnant. And it's just, you know, we have to be able to love on those that go down that journey. I had a couple friends just recently have their IVF journey, or their IVF cycles, canceled because they weren't stimulating well. And I mean, how are we going to love on these people if we're just constantly saying, oh, it'll happen for you, oh, you'll get pregnant? I mean, come on, meet people where they're at. So, sorry, I'm getting off my soapbox, but I just, yeah, I don't know, it just really, you know, I've been told that a lot, even like, oh, you know, I will just, you have to believe it. And it's like, okay, I can't believe it. I don't have tubes. I can't naturally get pregnant. But anyway, so stimulation for me went really well. I'm very grateful for that. Egg retrieval, it's so weird. My mom asked me, she goes, where did Craig do his thing? So he did his thing at home. We brought the cup to the facility in a warm towel. It's so weird, but you know what? It's science, and it is what it is. So I showed up early for egg retrieval, and you know, prepped, and I went to a surgical center, so it was very nice. Craig was able to come with me because Texas is a little more lax with COVID restrictions, and I was like wheeled in and wheeled out. I was put under completely. I was like moving over. They already had the IV. They had administered me like the medication, and I put one leg up in the stirrup, and then as the second one was going in, I like passed out. And then I wake up, I find out how many eggs, I'm kind of out of it, and within 30 minutes, I'm out the door. They just roll those through. I'm hoping that's not the case for transfer, but if it is, you know what, they do a good job. I pay them the big bucks for being good. I don't pay them to, like, you know, feed me grapes and, you know, give me sparkling water. So I was very well taken care of. I'm not sore today. I'm not bloated. I haven't taken pain medication all day, so I'm feeling pretty good. But I know a lot of you are like, okay, tell me what happened. So they retrieved 19 eggs. I was like shocked. Then in the afternoon they called me, they said 16 of them were mature. And so we decided that we were going to freeze 8 and fertilize 8. So 8 of them will be frozen. If anything happens to the 8 that were fertilized, we have something left over, which is what I wanted, because I didn't want to have to go through stimulation again. And I'm very fortunate to have leftovers, because that's not what we thought was going to happen. I guess they were so squished. You know, at the end, your ovaries look like little honeycombs. I'll actually put a picture in here. And maybe the bigger follicles were just squished in there. So I'm very grateful. I will find out Monday how those 8 fertilized are doing, and then they have to make it to day 5 or day 6. From there, they will be biopsied, basically a part of them. They're going to check for like abnormalities, as well as we'll get to know the sex. And in mid-January is when they're actually going to place an embryo into my uterus. I still have to get my uterus checked. They did find a polyp in my procedure that I had, I think it was like 2 or 3 months ago in Arizona after surgery. So I had like an in-office procedure. But hoping mid-January we will have the transfer, and from there obviously we find out if we're pregnant. So I just want to thank you guys for following the journey. On Monday I'll give updates on Instagram as to how, you know, the 8 follicles, embryos are progressing, hoping all 8 make it, but you know, that's not always the case. So I will just keep you guys updated. But thank you so much. If you have any questions, message me, comment in the comment box below. I am more than happy to answer any questions. So thank you so much. Bye.